Alright, this is a video on dragon inheritance. You do not need to take notes on this. I will have a copy of this paper when you come in. Okay, this is just so you guys have some basic understanding of what you're doing. So it's pretty much acting like a pre-lab video. So Hagrid, the keeper of creatures at Hogwarts, wishes to develop a herd of dragons for his care of magical creatures class. And unfortunately, he only has 2 dragons as of now. The purpose of this activity is to determine what kinds of dragons Hagrid will have in his herd when and if his 2 dragons decide to mate. So the directions, you're going to use this chart below. Okay, we'll go ahead and scroll down a little bit so you guys can see. Okay. Um, so the chart below tells you the traits of the dragons as well as the inheritance patterns of the dragons. Um, you're going to use the chart to color a picture of an offspring of Hagrid's 2 dragons, and to determine which alleles you're going to be given, you're going to use a penny. Okay, so use a coin to determine what allele is going to be inherited from the parent dragons. If you look on the page, you'll notice that Hagrid's dragon at the very bottom of the page, Hagrid's male dragon has these genotypes, Hagrid's female dragon has this genotype. So you know which alleles the dragons have. You're going to use the penny to determine which allele your offspring gets. Okay? So heads will represent the dominant allele being given. Tails will represent the recessive allele being given. Okay, then you are going to, once you've done that, you're going to have one dragon colored. Okay, so your dragon kind of looks like this guy right here. All right? So, once you have your dragon first color, that is your dragon, the first generation dragon. You're then going to mate your dragon with another first filial generation dragon to form an F2 generation dragon. So you're going to have 2 different dragons to color. One will be the product of Hagrid's dragons, and one will be the product of your first dragon and somebody else's dragon. Now, dragons are not asexual. They need to have sex with an opposite sex. So if you notice, one of the genes, or one of the traits, has to do with sex length. So there are male and female dragons out there. You need to make sure that you have a male mating with a female dragon, and so on and so forth. Okay, you'll use the pennies in the same way. So just to kind of give you a little review of what the traits are. Okay, fire breathing is a trait. It's dominant to breathe fire. It's not dominant to not breathe fire. The number of toes trait, 3 toes is dominant, 4 toes is recessive. The tail tip color, yellow is dominant to green. Head and body color, green is dominant to blue. The wing color, as you can see with the asterisk, is incomplete dominance inheritance pattern. So red wing color is incompletely dominant to yellow, which means if there is an heterozygous, they're going to have a blending of those 2 colors. Just like the horn color, black is incompletely dominant to white, so if there is a heterozygous, you're going to have a blending. With the number of spikes on the tail, that is actually a codominant trait, so there is no recessive, so that's why both letters are capitalized, and they have a superscript. The dominant allele, SF, is going to be 4 spikes. The ST is going to be 2 spikes. If you have a heterozygous, meaning they have 1 SF and 1 ST, then they're going to have 6 spikes. And then eye color is a sex-linked trait. It is X. It's on the X chromosome. It is also a recessive disorder, with the red eyes being dominant. Oh, sorry, the blue eyes being dominant over the red. So if you have X big B, you'll have blue eyes. If you have X little b and no other X big B to cover it up, then you'll have red eyes. Okay? So down here, asterisk, okay, 1 has incomplete, 2 codominant, 3 X-linked, and then it also gives you the genotypes of Hagrid's dragons. Hagrid has a red-eyed male dragon, okay, has the genotypes heterozygous for fire breathing, heterozygous for number of toes, heterozygous for tail tip, homozygous dominant for wing color, heterozygous for horn color, and homozygous recessive for number of spikes on the tail. Hagrid's blue-eyed female dragon is a carrier of the red-eye allele, but she's blue-eyed. And she has the following genotype. She has heterozygous for fire breathing. She is homozygous recessive for number of toes. She's homozygous recessive for tip color. She is homozygous recessive for wing color. She is homozygous recessive for horn color, and she is, actually, let me fix that real quick. Okay, so I got that fixed. She is homozygous dominant for her 4 spikes. Now, if you look back, I got to go back to Hagrid's male dragon, his last genotype, which was capital ST, that is 2 spikes. Okay? So, you need to know what dragons you're going to be mating with. Okay, so you need to make sure, I mean, I'll have these genotypes available for you. Just know what you're going to be doing with that penny when I give it to you, and we'll have some fun making some dragons.